Hi guys, it's James again. Hope you're having a great week. As you can see, this is being filmed a little bit more informally. Again, apologize for angles or the lighting in this case. But as you can see, I am heading out of this apartment. My wife and I have been working very hard to move stuff. And so I hope to be completely settled into our new place at the beginning of next week. So we shall see. How it goes. I don't like moving, but hey, life happens. Okay, so this is the comment video. It was a relatively short week for a Seahawks game, but that's because Seahawks are playing on Thursday night. So I didn't get a lot of comments, but I, believe it or not, got a lot of views on my Carolina recap. So I don't know if that was trending or people decided to play a dirty trick and just upload, the video over and over and over again or what have you. But heck, I'll take 63 hits in a week with any video. That's nice. So the views are up, comments were low. So once again, we didn't get anything from Twitter. So right now we only have one hit from Twitter thus far this season. Took us 6 weeks to get that, but that's all we have thus far. So we're going to start with the Carolina recaps, the Carolina Panther recap video. Heard from Rana Bloomberg for the first time since week 2. So how's it going, Rana? And Rana says very plainly, not sure I want to hear this one, referring to the Carolina Panthers recap. Well, Rana, I can tell you this. After recapping that game, and after recapping the Cincinnati Bengals collapse the Seahawks had, or the collapse they had against the collapse the Seattle Seahawks had against the Cincinnati Bengals, I speak English. I would have to say that the Carolina Panthers video turned out a little bit better than the Bengals recap. I say this for 2 reasons. One, I wasn't as tired as I was when I filmed the Panthers recap compared to the Bengals recap. And 2, kind of a funny story. So the last time that I had a moment like this in broadcasting, you got to go back to when it was my last quarter at Central Washington University, and I was producing the Central football playoff game on the radio, and they lost due to a blocked extra point. They went down and scored a touchdown. They just needed an extra point to tie it, and the kick was blocked. We ended up losing the playoff game, and that team that we lost to ended up winning the whole thing. But I bring that up because I remember when that happened, and after it sunk in that the Wildcats had lost, I had this thought of how in the world am I going to recap this game on my radio show? Now, when I say my radio show, if there's any Sports Den alumni who come across this, I'm not referring to the Sports Den. I'm referring to the Wildcat Lair that I had going at KXLE Radio in Ellensburg. You know, the show that they let me be the host for 2 seasons. And I just remember, sitting there, in my apartment during the night of after that game happened, just thinking, how in the world am I going to what am I going to say? How am I going to present this? What angle am I going to take? How can I move the story forward? What am I going to ask the coach? And I had all of these thoughts and these ideas, and I couldn't put anything on paper because I was so shocked that the Wildcats lost that game. And it's funny, I bring that up because that's what I felt like after the Cincinnati Bengals game. I was on 2 airplanes that day, traveling from Bozeman, Montana, and I ended up transferring in Denver. And I remember afterward thinking, how am I going to recap this game? How am I going to engage viewers and not come across like I've mentioned before, so many other angry football fans here up online that just yell and scream and just rant. And I'm just thinking to myself, how in the world so that's the reason why I would say that the Carolina Panthers video turned out better. Not just because of the finished product, but because of the behind-the-scenes story. Because when the Seahawks lost to the Panthers, it was more like, all right, let's give it a couple hours, and then let's talk about it. So this might be something that the Seahawks will be accustomed to doing throughout this season, since they have this pattern. So thank you, Rhonda, for commenting. It might be a long-winded response, but thank you again. Always good to hear from you. Moving on to YouTube for the Carolina Panthers recap. Got the computer down here. Got my buddy Ian again. He writes, the offense should continue using Jimmy Graham more, and hopefully that will boost the offense. Before I continue, of course you would say that because you're a New Orleans Saints fan and you have a Seattle Seahawks Jimmy Graham jersey. I wonder why. Anyway, moving on, he also writes, the defense just needs to get better and stop blowing fourth quarter leads. Is it panic time? Yes. Are the Hawks done? No. Even if they enter their bye week 4-4 or even 3-5, I think they still have a chance to at least get a wild card spot. Division may be out of reach at that point, but the rest of the NFC teams in the wild card positioning battle are all around 2 or 3 wins right now. So if the Hawks were to at least get a win streak going in the second half, they can certainly hold off the rest of the pack. Dallas and St. Louis are the only teams right now that I think Seattle has to edge out for that wild card spot. Time will tell. This is true. There is, that's good. That there is still some of that optimism left. The problem is if the Seahawks lose, you mentioned 4-4, and you also mentioned 3-5, which I think is a little bit of the stretch. But if the Seahawks lose tomorrow and they lose against Dallas and be 2-6, I would say there's very little reason to be optimistic going into the second half in terms of saying the Seahawks are done, quote unquote. But we shall see. So moving on to the 40 Winers preview. We'll start with Facebook. I got another comment from Adam Boyd. He says, yes, let's take down those let's take those Winers down. Haha, your enthusiasm and excitement are contagious. Keep it up, Puck. Thanks again, Adam. And I really hope that you do have some fun in Hawaii next week when you travel over there. So I'll see you in 2 weeks, probably after Halloween, and we'll go to Sherry's after rehearsal. Looking forward to that. Last comment of the day or of the week prior to the 40 Winers Seattle Seahawks game is again from Ian on YouTube. He said, prior to the start of the season, when making my picks, I said the Hawks would not win a road game until Santa Clara. I will stick by that prediction and say that the Hawks will win Thursday night. This is a great rivalry, and I know the Legion of Boom would not let the 40 Winers beat them. I think this could be a 30-10 type game or a 17-13 type game. I think it will be low scoring and a close physical game. Okay, couple things. First off, I'm happy that you picked the Seattle Seahawks since you, out of all people, are 6-0 when it comes to predicting Seahawks games, which I do have to give you kudos to. However, if you are not 7-0, you are forbidden to make any more predictions about the Seattle Seahawks, okay? You, as I said before, are the reason that the Seahawks are struggling, all right? And if you get this one wrong, you're not allowed to make any more predictions. Okay, you can, but you just can't comment on my blog. I'm just giving you a hard time. I do think this is going to be a physical game. I think actually the two teams are actually are on a much even level playing field than people are giving it credit for. So, all right, so that'll do it for the comments. I will recap the game as soon as possible tomorrow night. I will be missing it, unfortunately, because I will be officiating volleyball. But I will recap it and try to get it up as soon as possible before I completely move out of this apartment and move into the new one. So, thanks for watching. Go Hawks, and let's take down the 40 Winers.